some bullshit in the game, man. I'm smelling something funny.
What's going on, you guys? So, Christopher Primetime Colbert calls out Gary Russell Jr. for a fight in July and August. Last time we seen Primetime was in his embarrassing loss to Hector Garcia. And now, Primetime's looking to fight Gary Russell Jr., said he don't want no warm-up fights because he's a dog. Hit that like button for your boy. Give me that HBO special. That's the Help a Brother Out special. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. Christopher Primetime Colbert calls out Gary Russell. Last time we seen Gary Russell Jr., he lost a somewhat controversial decision to Mark Magasayo in a fight where Gary Russell Jr. was beating the guy with one hand. Gary Russell Jr. had a shoulder injury going into the fight, and he injured the shoulder in the fight. I believe it was a punch from Mark Magasayo, who landed a punch on his shoulder, and Gary Russell Jr. was a one-armed fighter for a majority of that fight. In my opinion, Gary Russell Jr. schooled Mark Magasayo, but the politics of boxing felt differently.
Politics is a bad motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I beat that boy at least 10 rounds to 2, 9 to 3, man. Man, took old boy to school, man. I don't know, man. It is what it is, man. I just wanted to come on here and show y'all some love, man.
Gave Mark Magasayo the victory, and now Mark Magasayo is the champion, the WBC champion, who's also going to be fighting Ray Vargas pretty soon. But Gary Russell Jr. now, as of me making this video, hasn't responded to Christopher Colbert. But about time you guys get this video or receive this information, Gary Russell Jr. likely will respond to Christopher Primetime Colbert. But Christopher Primetime Colbert, after his embarrassing loss to Hector Garcia, I mean, crazy performance, right? And what I mean by crazy is that Primetime did not want to be in there with this guy. He was talking a whole lot of trash going into that fight. And then once he got in the ring and felt Hector Garcia's power, once he seen Hector Garcia was for real, Christopher Colbert did not want to be in the ring with this guy. Actually, it's one of the most shameful performances I ever seen by a top fighter in quite some time. Absolutely horrible performance. Actually, he would have been better off just getting knocked out or just really putting up his best effort in the fight. He didn't put up his best effort. And you know your boy Bushido, two things your boy Bushido don't like is ducking and not putting up your best effort. And Christopher Colbert didn't put his best effort in that fight. So essentially his stock dropped below Earth's core level. His stock dropped all the way beneath the planet Earth because of that performance against Hector Garcia. It's not like it was a spirited, gutted performance. No, he did not want to be in a ring with this guy. So now boxing fans do not believe in Christopher Colbert. When boxing fans see things like that, they don't forget. They don't forget. And now you're going to be looked at as a guy who really just was all talk, right? People go look at Colbert as if he's all talk. He comes out and says this is not a clout chase. He's not looking for any warm-ups. He's looking to hop right in there with Gary Russell Jr. But if you look at it another way, why are you looking to fight Gary Russell Jr. when he was at the top of the division? Why not try to rematch Hector Garcia? Why not try to rematch that guy, the guy that beat you, right? Why not rematch that guy? Go after Hector Garcia, because if you can't beat him, then how you going to expect to beat a dog like Gary Russell Jr.? Right? Where was this energy to call out Gary Russell Jr. back when Gary Russell Jr. was a champion? Back when Gary Russell Jr. was looking for opponents? Back when Gary Russell Jr. was standing out in the middle of the street by himself with that WBC belt in his hand, talking about what's up? Where was you at then? Nowhere to be found. Now that Gary Russell Jr. is getting older, he may have lost a step or two, right? He hasn't been the most active fighter, as we all know. He's coming off a loss. And now you want to call out Gary Russell Jr. Now guys want to line up to fight Mr. Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. likely will respond to this. And if he does respond, I will leave the response in the community tab. But Christopher Colbert, is very interesting that he's looking to fight Gary Russell Jr. now, when I feel that he should be going right after Hector Garcia for that rematch. Like and subscribe. Holla at your boy. Peace out.